Hi there, welcome to my channel. It's Celeste. I'm here to do a reading for you guys today about the new moon. We have a new moon in the energy today. And I want to talk about what's going on in the collective and kind of do a new moon reading to find out what you are resisting, what you need to be releasing right now, and also what's coming in, what you're calling into your life, what's being manifested, created, or reborn. And I want to get some guidance for you for moving forward on that. I'm just going to dive right in today. We're going to do story mode because I'm really liking that for the moon phases. Story mode is where we record a reading from each of, we're going to do 3 different positions here. And 2 cards came out for the first one. And so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and that'll be 3 different storylines. Now, one storyline might connect with you. You might connect with 2 or all 3 of them. If none of them connects for you throughout the reading, I would hang in there if you're not sure, just for at least for a few minutes to see where the reading is going. But if none of them matches, you know, I might just not be telling your story today because that does happen with collective readings. It's, you know, I try to hit on as many as I can because I know we've all got a little something different going on, but I want to make sure I can get a real good reading for each of the ones I do. So what's going on in the collective today? Ooh, someone's hermiting. Are you being a hermit? 2 more. Wow, everybody's getting 2 cards here, except the hermit. That's no surprise with a hermit, right? All right. So first storyline goes something like this. We've got the King of Swords and the 10 of, wow, the 10 of Swords. So you, excuse my French, but this is what came through. You are done with some bullshit. And you are standing in that power. You are ready to be finished with whatever this is. There's a strong energy of empowerment here, and ready to take action more than anything. You're not just like emotionally done with this thing. You are ready to like literally be done. King of Swords, he's logical. He is intellectually empowered. He knows his mind. He knows his thoughts. And if you're a she, you can be the King of Swords too. That's fine. Anybody can be the King of Swords. But it has the energy of action. And that's good because the 10 of Swords is like, it's just done, right? I don't think I need to go into that anymore. This person is ready to move on from something. Hermit, you are locked in your, well, when I say locked, it's by your own accord and you know that. So the Hermit locks themselves away. They remove themselves from the activity of daily life, and they're really focusing on enlightenment, okay? If you're a writer, this could mean that you got an idea and you're going for it and you just kind of locked yourself in your writing space and you're just working on it. And you really want, and whatever this thing is that you're working on, you really want to make it the highest version of itself that it can be. Like you're having a lot of insight, you're having a lot of, like there's a lot of intuitive power here. Like you see the way, like it's been revealed to you. The way has been revealed to you. The star has been brought to your level, or you've raised up to it. More likely like a little bit of both. And you've realized that, oh my gosh, I don't have to rush around. I don't have to hurry so much. I can do this thing that I've wanted to do by calming myself, by bringing my inner energy into alignment. I can really bring this goal down to my level. Like it used to seem so far up here, and now it's not. It's right within your grasp, and you're working on it, but this is not a frantic kind of working. This is a diligent, nose to the grindstone in a really centered way that other people might not really understand. The Hermit energy tends to be a little bit removed from the crowd, a little bit removed from everybody else. and you're probably marching to the beat of your own drum. You're not listening to what the crowd is saying about it. You're just moving forward on this thing. So if it's creative energy, that's what's going on. This could also be in relation to relationships or like your overall as a human being. This could be about your ascension journey to becoming more empowered. You're like rising up in the levels of empowerment, and you're experiencing more peace in your life, more joy, more peace. And when I talk about joy, I'm talking about like the simple joys of life. It's like the pleasure of the smile on a loved one's face, the simple pleasures of eating a simple meal, the joys of nature. Okay, so that's what the Hermit is doing, and that can absolutely be related to your writing, or it could absolutely be related to your outer life. We'll see what's going on more. And our last person, our last main character, are you one of these main characters? This person is, okay. There's something here about you. Okay, they're telling me you're biding your time because you know that your happiness is on the horizon. Like you can see it, you can feel it, you can touch it, but it's not quite here yet, which is kind of, it's interesting because the Hermit would call bullcrap on this in a second. So there's like a little bit of a waiting energy here, and the Hermit never waits. He's always in the present moment. So there's something here about you not being in the present moment, but also we can kind of not be in the present moment and also understand. We may not be in the energy of feeling it yet, but we understand that it's only a matter of time, that everything that we have wanted for ourselves has been sort of put in the queue. And if we relax and are patient, nobody can take away what's rightfully ours. Okay? But be careful. They're giving me a warning here to be careful. So this storyline, a lot of people are going to think it's about, getting the thing, reaching the goal. 10 of Cups is not about goals. And the Wheel of Fortune, so on the egoic side, it ends up being about goals, success, money, getting the right person, job, all those things. On an inner level, this is about understanding that this was always yours. It's always been yours, and nobody can take it away from you. So there's something deeper here. I'm expecting that to come out. It could, because this is the Cups, this could be about like a happy, this could be like about the culmination of a happy relationship, something that is finally happening for you that you've been wanting. But there's that sense of it not quite being locked in yet. Wheel of Fortune is, it's about fate, timeliness. Right. So we're going to pull another level. I feel like that was really clear. So I'm going to pull another level. This is, and again, in story mode, your first set of cards might have been over here. You might find your next, there's going to be 3 different things that people are resisting. You might resonate with all 3. You might resonate with just one, and just because you were over here for the first layer of cards doesn't mean you won't be over here for the second. So pick one. It doesn't have to matter which column. It's just that one is meant to resonate with you. Could be all 3 again. Don't get caught up in which column it's in is all I'm saying. What are you resisting? What are my main characters here resisting? Resistance is strong, isn't it? It's why the Hermit goes to the mountain. He wants to get away from the resistance. He wants to experience his life in the moment. Or she. We can't move on until we're done. The doneness is being done with resistance. What are you resisting? So someone's resisting. Clarifier on that. Someone's resisting Okay, that card, it's funny because that card often represents, it's like curiosity. People talk about it a lot, about being like the card of like, it's almost like it's like gossipy or checking up on information. Okay, you're being stubborn. You want to check up on somebody and you're resisting it. Somebody or something, probably somebody, I just got a feeling. There's a rigidness here of like what's mine is mine. And so I usually see this card when it's not about money or resources. I see this card about being about control. And so I think that you're controlling yourself. You're wanting to communicate, reach out, and you're holding yourself back. And that holding your back, that's the resistance right there. Like you want to do it, but you're not doing it on purpose. Three of Cups. I'm going to pull a clarifier on all of these. I like the energy of a clarifier unless the card speaks for itself. All right, Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles, if you're resonating with the middle column on this question, your resistance. So this is again about, I think this is about avoiding people. You're focusing on this creation, this thing that you're making. Could be money, could be like focused on the money. Could be focused on creating the thing that you're going to sell to get the money. You're not really communicating with others right now. If you are communicating with others, it's strictly on a physical plane, and there's no emotions to this. You're sort of resisting that right now. Okay. I want to pull another card because part of me is like, why is that bad? So something tells me that if you're resisting it and it's not good for you, then what's going on with that? Seven of Pentacles. Something, you're feeling like something wasn't right. Like it wasn't it's not the right time. You'll get to it after, okay, you're pushing aside. Okay, yeah, you're pushing aside. Okay, ooh, all right. You're pushing aside, you're pushing aside people that you care about. You're like very focused on this pentacle, okay? You're very focused on money. You're like upset that something hasn't manifested for you yet, and you are really resisting that. You're like, I'm gonna get this, darn it, I'm gonna get this lined up, and I'll have time for happiness later. Like when this happens, then I'll have time to be happy. I'll go back to these people that love me, and then I'll be happy. That's what's unhealthy about that. High Priestess. What are you resisting? High Priestess in reverse. You are resisting yourself, your higher self. Oh my goodness. Knight of Pentacles. Doubting your intuition about something that is come into your life with a lot of strength and stability. It feels too good to be true. And you're not trusting your intuition about this thing that has come into your life, or could be that it hasn't quite manifested yet. It could be just lined up. Like it could be something that you're seeing and you're like in your, that whole thing about the goal being right there and you can almost taste it. You can almost touch it. It might already be here for some of you. It might just be sort of on the horizon. You're not trusting it. You don't feel, you're like, is this real? You're looking for the, catch. You're waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's interesting. What is needed to overcome your resistance? So when I talk about overcoming resistance, I want to throw in there that just because we resist something doesn't mean we need to overcome it. A lot of times overcoming it is just moving through it. It's just allowing it to be, like allowing that resistance to just be there. Acknowledging it can be overcoming it. So when I talk about overcoming resistance, we're not talking about our need to like beat something into submission or force ourselves to move through something that we're not done with. So when I talk about moving through or overcoming resistance, it's about getting to the other side of it. So this resistance here, whatever this is, this exists for a reason. You're not necessarily, it's not necessarily a problem. Like we can be in resistance with something and have there be no problem in the present moment. We just are. So if this is a person, like if you want to check up on somebody, if you're wanting to reach out to somebody, if you're wanting to see what they're up to, if you're wanting to communicate with them, if you're missing someone, or even if you're just curious, there's no feelings here necessarily. This is like pure curiosity. Now there could be feelings also underneath, but this is coming from a place of the mental plane. And if you're holding back on that, you know, the answer may not be just reach out, just do it. It doesn't have to be the answer, okay? The answer might be that you just need to relax your grip a little bit. Like trust yourself that this communication will come when it's time. My guides wanted me to tell you that because a lot of times people think, oh, you know, that, you know, I'm finding fault or that somebody that's trying to help them is causing, you're having more resistance with the help than you are with the thing that, like, I don't want to be helped, you know? I see that so much, especially in the writing community. I don't want to be helped. I don't like your advice. I don't want to be helped. Well, if you don't like my advice, okay, no big deal. How's what you're doing working for you? If it's working for you, great. If it's not, then, you know, find somebody who can help you. What is needed to overcome resistance? So sometimes this is an untangible thing. Sometimes it's a realization. What's needed to overcome resistance, Spirit? It doesn't matter which one of these. You're going to feel this on a soul level if it's for you. So we have the 7 of Cups and 9 of Wands reverse. So what's needed to overcome, okay, I love this because what's needed is you're resisting making a choice. Whoever this is, somebody in this reading is resisting making a choice. They're afraid of choosing wrong. They're afraid if they pick one thing, that all the rest of the options are going to evaporate. If I choose a direction, you know, I'm afraid that I won't be able to, you know, if I choose this cup, these other cups are going to go away. And what's needed to overcome resistance is to understand that any choices that go away were never really there to begin with. That the real choices, your real options, they're always going to come back because, right, remember when I said that Spirit will never take away from you what's rightfully yours. We lose a lot of things in our lives that weren't meant for us because we held on to them so tightly. So there's that energy again of holding on to something so tightly. Holding on so tightly to our resistance. So this is about letting go of your defensiveness and your resistance and just making a choice. There's probably something here that you want more than the other things. Just choose yourself. Okay? So that's what's going to be needed to move through. You might not be ready there. You might not be there yet, but that's what's going to be needed to move through this resistance, is to just make a choice. Okay. What is needed to overcome the resistance that you're feeling? I'm going to try to relate back to other stories as I go, as I get messages, but I don't want this reading to go on for an hour. So if I, I'm just going to say what I'm guided to say. All right. This person, what is needed to overcome resistance? Whoever this is for. This is our Page of Pentacles again. Didn't we have him earlier? Or was he? This is our Page of Pentacles right here. All right. Our Page of Pentacles, he's holding himself back. He or she is holding himself back because of a fear of not succeeding. And so in order to move through this energy of holding yourself back, you've got to open yourself up to failure. You've got to open yourself up to the possibility of failure and the possibility of success. Because if you're not taking chances, you can't win. So this is about getting yourself on the playing field so that you can succeed and accepting that failure is part of succeeding. We spend a lot of time trying to avoid failure, and I'm just going to share with you what I know, and that is that if you are failing, it means you've been in the game, and what's needed is to just keep getting back up. That's very hard sometimes. I totally understand that. And the reasons why you allow yourself to shy away from situations where you're afraid you might fail, they can be all over the place. The reasons can be all over the place. But it's probably got something to do with some beliefs that you have around success and failure, like how you define success. I was just talking to somebody today about our definition of success. That person was saying that she defines success in terms of money. There was a very strong theme coming out. Like, if I'm not making money, then I'm not succeeding. And I could look at her and see her successes, but she couldn't because the money wasn't there. And I thought how the money might follow if she could get out of her own way about that mindset of seeing that as being the only measure of success. Because money usually follows, in my experience, now, I'm not rich or anything, but in my experience, like, the money always manifests, like when I get out of my own way and stop worrying about it, we have what we need here and a little more, I don't know about success with money on a huge scale, but I know about how it manifests itself for me in my life. And we always have what we need here. So, what is needed to overcome your resistance? This is pile 3. This is situation number 3, perhaps. This could go with any of these other stories, remember. Not necessarily this guy who isn't trusting their intuition. But there is something here about not thinking that you have, and you feel like you, I think there's a strong message, there's a strong relationship message here, but this could also be work related. So I'm going to give both interpretations. I'm going to try to make it so that it's clear what the interpretation for both is. You feel like you lack something fundamentally. In order to make a partnership work. That partnership could be romantic. The Two of Cups is often a romantic partnership. But this could also be about you being in exchange, about you working with somebody on, so this could be, sometimes with writers and creatives, I see this as like creative partnership with somebody who kind of gets the heart of your work. So this could be like finding the agent that sees the soul of your work, finding an editor who believes in your work on the heart level. But there's something here about being trapped, and you're feeling trapped. You want this love so much, and you're feeling trapped without it. You feel like you can't. You feel like you can't succeed. You feel like you don't have everything you need until you have this, and you have to let go of that. And when you let go of it, believe it or not, this might come in, but it's not going to come in before you let go of it, because this is what you're resisting. Okay, you're resisting that partnership. You're resisting it by believing that you don't have what it takes to get it, and that you're trapped without it. That is kind of in your face, and that hurts a lot to look at, I think. So I want to pull some more. So this is like the heavy releasing energy of the new moon. Usually the waning period of the moon, down to when the moon is its darkest, is when we deal with release. That's your chance to like empty out your cup, empty yourself out, to become void inside. So you empty out all the fears, all of the darkness, all of the shadows. You lay them on the table, and sometimes we can consciously pick what to deal with, and sometimes we're just dealing with what we're dealing with, because it all depends on your level of empowerment. As you become more empowered, you get to pick and choose a little more. But sometimes when we're first I remember when I first started working with my shadow energy, I was sort of at its mercy, and it was very painful a lot of the time. But I could see as I continued on my path how it became more intentional and more purposeful as I learned about my own shadow, where it came from, and how to release it, how to just let it be, allow it, and release it. So we're going to move into the positive energy of the new moon, which is the manifestation. This is what's waiting to be manifested, created, drawn into your life, or even reborn. So when we lay something to rest, something else might be reborn in us. That same thing might be reborn in us in a new way. Like you have a goal to make money. You might lay to rest that need. You might want this partnership, right? So badly, and you're holding on to it so tightly. You feel so trapped without it. You feel like you don't have, so you're going to lay that to rest. And then something else is reborn in that place. Maybe it's a beautiful partnership. Maybe it's the knowledge that you can do this on your own without it. Maybe it's the knowledge that you don't need it. So let's see what comes up. What's being manifested right now in this new moon energy that we're in right now? That's too many. It was like 5 cards. I could feel it. Okay, what's waiting? Interesting. Queen of Wands and the Emperor, reverse. There's some dark energy here. I want to clarify because, okay. Okay, you are releasing some anger, some control that you've harbored inside, and that's waiting to be reborn as the muse of voices. That's the king. It's like the ultimate energy of voices, and the voice is that's the mental plane. So what's waiting to be manifested in you when you're letting go of this rigidity, and so the Queen of Inspiration, the Queen of Wands is like the ultimate creator, and so she's not creating. in her negative. You haven't been writing, you haven't been creating, because you've been too controlling. And what's waiting to be reborn in you is, it's literally your voice. Okay, the muse of voices. I chose this deck on purpose. Well, actually I didn't. Funny thing is I chose the deck and then I wrote the reading. So I think the deck told me what it wanted to say. The Page of Inspirations. This is a new start. You're going to be getting a burst of inspiration, and not just the energy of inspiration, the ideas. You're going to be getting the voice to be able to draw them down and put them on paper. If this is about a relationship, you're going to be having a new energy toward that relationship, and you're going to be having the words in your mind. You're going to know what to say to this person that brings that relationship closer. You're going to be able to find more clarity with communication with them. You're also going to have clarity of the additional clarity of your thoughts, your mindset being aligned with a healthier expression of whatever this was. What is waiting to be manifested, created, or drawn into your life? We had Strength earlier. Sometimes I do think they go straight down the pile. I think they can't help but. This is Strength. This is sovereignty is what it really is speaking to me right now in this moment. This woman on this lion. This is, so we have the feminine and masculine together here underneath the moon. This is really like the drawing together of the intuitive side and the logical side. There's some union energy here, union with self, wholeness, and you're going to be pulling that in. And with that comes a fluidity of being able to express something that you've been holding back. And that could be in a relationship in your life. It is emotion. There is emotion here, so it's probably something close to you. It's probably got to do with your craft, with your art, or with somebody that you care about. So either you're going to be able to express yourself more clearly and more fully, or you're going to be able to express, in your art, or you're going to be able to do it to another person. Sorry about that. What's waiting to be manifested or drawn into your life or reborn? What's waiting to be manifested, created, drawn into your life or reborn? One more. All right. So there's abundance coming to you. There's full abundance coming to you. This is material abundance. So there's a financial reward or a material reward. Could be, sometimes we say financial and, the reward is actually just something else in the physical. So you can, opening yourself up to abundance means not just opening yourself up to receiving money, although money is what's most useful to many of us. Sometimes we get, you might get a reward for something that's not monetary but has a value. So you're going to be getting something of value. And then this is the seven of, okay, so there's some, okay, you have to let go of hiding. You have conflict. You, whoever this is, you have conflict around speaking your mind. You have conflict around, you have an inability to speak your mind. You're holding back and you're not being your true self. There's something here about being deceptive. And you're going to, when you release that, when I say deceptive, I don't mean that you're lying. You might be. You might know that you're being inauthentic on the outside. You might be faking it. But you're feeling conflicted about being true with your voice. And again, that can show in your writing. You might be holding back from something that you're writing, not talking, not saying what you want to say with the art. You could be holding back in a communication with somebody else. But what's waiting for you when you start to be authentic, when you move out of this conflict energy and out of this inauthentic energy, is you move into the energy of abundance. And that's waiting for you at this full moon. If you've been the hermit and you've been realizing what's important and you've been really honest about how you've been lying to yourself, you know, or lying. So nobody wants to be called a liar, right? It's shadow work. It's not comfortable. There's nothing comfortable about shadow work. When you get comfortable with this idea of, I haven't been my true self, so how could anybody love me? How could I get rewarded for my true self if I was never my true self? And as you move through iterations of your true self, you become closer to your truer self. So first we are honest about how we feel in the moment, and we get really honest about identity. And then we understand that further along this step, we start to shed identities that aren't helpful, because we can have identities that are hurting us. And as we move further along the ascension path toward being, having a purer walk with God or with our own soul, however you see your higher power, as we become purer with that relationship, we become rewarded with more abundance. And again, this isn't always money. Sometimes it's, like I said earlier, I just noticed that when I need something, I have a belief that my needs are met, and that I may not always get everything I want, but I get what I need. And I get what I really want. I get what I focus on. I get what I put my energy on. So that's about that. That's waiting for you, and with the energy of this moon, if you can work with this moon. Now, things tends to be, in my experience, I think a lot of people would argue, in my experience, it tends to be like a 6-month window between when you get aligned with something and when it really shows up. And I think that the more aligned you are, the faster things show up for you. But I tend to see like a 6-month window. So whatever I'm really focused on right now will be rolling into my life in about 6 months in some way. Probably, maybe not the way I'm seeing it, but some way. Messages from your higher self. What strength are you bringing to the situation? Wrong cards here. Wrong cards. Okay. What strengths are you bringing to this situation? Let me clarify. Reverse Empress. All right. The strength that you're bringing to the situation for one group. You understand. You know who your friends are. You have a group of people around you who are supporting you. They are your biggest cheerleaders. I sense that they can tell you the truth and do that with love, and that you can take it from them. So you have support around you, and this is a huge strength that you can tap into to help bring this situation that you're experiencing, that you're struggling with or moving through, this new moon. You've got people, you've got friends and family to take care of you. What is your strength? Pile number 2. You know that you understand. Okay, I'm trying to look the words. You understand that you don't need to be like Okay, you don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to be in the perfect relationship in order to deserve love. To deserve love and partnership, you understand that you don't have to be perfect. And right here, pile number 3, what strength are you bringing? You have truth on your side, okay? Clarity. You've got this crystal clear clarity about where you're going and what you are going to be focusing on next. You've probably been taking there's probably following a period of major confusion. This reading back here is coming to mind. There's actually been a lot of swords on the table. And this is a fresh start. You're ready for this fresh start. You're embodying this fresh start in your mental space. So I see you being ready to learn something new, to start over, to throw away ideas that are not helpful, mindsets that aren't helpful, outdated information. And I see you being really ready to move into this fresh energy in this mental space. What's coming up for you in the next few weeks? Let's see. I haven't used this one as much. I'm trying to... What's coming up for you in the next few weeks? That energy of the new moon always brings something new in. Sometimes it's not what you thought. It always brings a fresh change. It's a fresh cycle every month. Always something coming in. Oh, some temptations. Okay, so you might be dealing with, in the next few weeks, this is just to let you know what's kind of on the horizon. This isn't to scare you. Don't freak out when you see the devil card. All that means is that there's going to be some temptations, and they're explaining exactly what that temptation is going to be. There's going to be a temptation to feel lack, okay? So maybe in the next few weeks, you're not going to be getting the news that you want to hear. I feel like there's going to be like a bottleneck, probably because of the holidays, but also like COVID-19 situations. So there could be like a bottleneck of, if you're waiting for news, it could be held up. And so what they're saying is don't get stuck in this hopeless feeling because the reward isn't coming. Because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not on its way. But I suspect that there's going to be some holdups for some of you who are waiting for news. It could be quite literally that money slipping through your fingers right now. And that could, again, it could be a warning to not overspend during the holiday. Again, I think you probably know if that's for you. It's not for everybody. Oh, okay, 3. Coming up in the next few weeks. Okay, you're letting go of some, okay, you're letting, why is that one? You're letting go of conflict, and I think you're moving away from something where you felt like your voice didn't matter. That's like a reborn situation, you know, it's like letting go of something that seemed really like important to you, like could be a group of friends you're moving away from, could just be, might not even be friends, it could be just a place where you thought that, I don't know, you can be in groups sometimes and think they're going to be great for us, and then they turn out not being so great for us. And I think you're going to be moving toward, I think you might be going toward a time of silence, but this is not necessarily empowered. I think disempowered. I think that people think of silence as being disempowered, and I see this as a purposeful, intentional decision to be quiet and listen. Listen inside. Listen to your internal voice and guidance to move away from something that's not helping you out. It's not getting you where you want to go. What's coming up in the next few weeks? A third main character. What's coming up in the next few weeks? Okay. You've got a big idea. You have a big idea. And you're going to go for it. And you're going to hold that close to your chest. I think the priestess is, I think you're being advised here that when this idea comes in, to hold it a little bit close to yourself while you work on it in silence. So don't share it too soon, because there's like that little bubble that you can pop by sharing an idea too soon. They're saying to get it, don't go tell all your partners, writing partners or friends about the idea. Keep it a little secret. You're going to be keeping it a little bit secret for a while you work out the form, while you get to know the idea. It's not really advice. It's what you're probably going to be doing. And last but not least, I want to get some guidance for you. So here's a little new moon surrender card. I'll pull 3. Pick the one that resonates. Surrender to trust. You need to trust more. You don't always need to listen to what everybody else tells us to do. Sometimes we need to trust our own opinion. Trust your decisions about what's right for you. Surrender to creativity. That's this, okay? Surrender to creativity. When that message comes in, if you can, get yourself aligned so that you can listen when this muse comes in. That might mean creating a little writing time every day, a little creative time every day, or it might mean setting aside a Saturday or a Sunday, Babysitters are tough right now, right? It's really hard to get care if you have kids or if you're a caregiver. Is there some way that someone else can help so that you can have some time? Can you ask for what you need? Can you order out dinner? Maybe you've been doing that too much. We've been doing that too much. But sometimes, that is a real solution. Sometimes you're like, if only I could just order dinner and have it appear. Well, you might be able to. Surrender negative thinking. Okay, this is a big one. So we have this tendency to get locked up in our negative thinking. It becomes somewhat addictive. We have all these negative thoughts. We have all these reasons why we believe it's true, and we cling to those beliefs because it's more comfortable than to believe that we can do something about it. And what the negative thinking does is it creates that self-fulfilling prophecy in many situations. I'm not saying you don't have evidence for why you feel the way you feel, because I know that I do when I get in a negative space. I have lots of evidence, but that's my shadow speaking, and I know that. That's my fears. All right. Is this 3? I think it's 3. All right. Leaning into happiness, healing chaos, and inner peace. I'm going to suggest, my guides are suggesting that if one of these resonates with you, or maybe all 3, but that you could do a journal topic on each one. What is happiness to me? What does happiness mean to me? Do I believe that I can choose happiness? Has there ever been a moment in my life where I chose happiness? What did it feel like to choose happiness? Because again, we can get locked in that negative thinking of, well, I don't choose my happiness. Happiness is something that happens to me. But it really can be a choice. It doesn't feel like it all the time. Healing chaos. What would it look like for you to heal chaos in your life? Is there anything good that comes out of chaos sometimes? What does chaos tell you in the moment when you're in chaos? What does it remind you that you should be doing? Good journal topics. And inner peace. Again, it's another one. We don't think that we can choose it until we have chosen it. And then when you have chosen it, it's so obvious that you could choose it. Inner peace and happiness are available to us at all times. But that said, doesn't mean that it's easy to see that in the moment. When you're feeling really low, it can be hard to see this, especially if you haven't felt happiness or peace in a long time. You feel like it's so far away from you. How could I possibly choose it? And then the mind gets cranking, right? It gets cranking. Okay, so that's going to be the end of our new moon reading. I want to thank you guys. I've got a lot of new subscribers in the last week or two, and I want to thank everybody who's new to the channel. I appreciate your support, and I love it if you haven't subscribed. If you would, it helps me get noticed by people who might need my content or really benefit from it. And I also want to mention that if you are a writer and you're following me because you're a writer, that I am a writing coach. I'm not just a tarot reader. I love tarot. I think tarot is a wonderful way to talk about empowerment, intuition, inner growth, transformation. It's really great for all of those topics. But I also do coaching, and I find that tarot and coaching can go hand in hand in a lot of ways. And if you want to work with me, I do have coaching packages. I have mentorships that are on sale, 25% off until the end of the year. I have a book mentorship and a craft mentorship. And I do one-on-one coaching if you're not, if you want to talk about your life as a creative and not really share the pages. So check out all those links on my description. And I hope you guys have a great new moon. I'll be back later with some more readings. Bye.